Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll.
Post-credit show.
Talk about movies and games and things, and we've done.
And played and done and purpled.
Purple. So, welcome.
I'm Nick.
I'm Tony.
I'm Chris.
We always forget that the first time.
That's
No,
fine.
we don't.
This is the
I
more
remembered
important
it.
part
I
for our
said-
name.
It is true.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. So we shall get into it.
Sure.
Let's talk about Radical Heights.
Sure.
Go
we,
for
we
it.
can talk about that.
We can both talk about
briefly.
Radical Heights. Radical Heights is the new
It is a
Battle Royale.
the newest Battle Royale early access game.
Super early access.
Like
Came out
crazy.
last week, sort of early access.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I like the safe zone premise in it. It's a lot better than
Yeah.
most other battle royale.
So this
games.
one isn't a shrinking...
So in Fortnite you have your storm.
Yes.
In Battle Royale you have the what do they call
Or
it?
in
The blue
PUBG.
zone or PUBG they call it the blue zone or something
It's
like
still
that.
just a storm. It's yeah.
But they don't call it storm. It's a blue.
Explosion.
There's essentially a
Blue-
giant circle in Fortnite and PUBG that
Yes,
slowly
it's
gets smaller.
smaller and smaller. So what the difference is in Radical Heights is that they block off certain areas of the map. It
Yeah.
might not be a circle. It could be a square. It could be lines. You just need to get out of
Triangle.
those. It could be. I
So
don't-
they
we
can
don't-
actually make weird
Pentagon.
Yes.
pixel shapes.
Yes. So and each, it's basically I don't know what the distance is for each square, but you just need to be out of that square.
Right. So the shtick was like at the beginning of one of our first fights that when we first actually understood what we were doing.
Yes.
Is you have like the map and there's a ring around the outside that is safe, then another ring that is not safe, and then a box in the middle. So 4 squares that was safe.
We didn't check in though.
And then there was one game, and I'm not sure how it decides what it's going to shrink to. I'm not sure if it's population within those squares.
I mean, we didn't really get far on either of our playthroughs.
one of them that one where we were at the base or the football field, we had
That
made
one?
it through a few of them.
I want to say we got to like 12th or 15th or something.
Something like that. But either way, like it
It changes. It's
It
not just
changes,
a circle.
it's
It's
not
not
just
just
a
circle,
Yeah.
which it makes you think like, okay, so if I go here, it might, as long as I'm safe here, the next zone, whenever it switches up, I should be fine.
yeah.
Because
And as you're moving, you're trying to eventually look at the map and go like, okay,
It
there's
makes
a
it-
safe block here, and then you have to pretty much run diagonally to get to the next safe zone if it's blocked off with red.
Yeah.
Or you'll take some damage as you run through the not safe zone for 2 seconds. But it's like, okay, is it going to shrink to here? Is it going to shrink to there? It's not like PUBG or something where...
it gets
It
smaller and
lands
smaller and
where
smaller and
it's gonna
smaller.
go.
and it's like, oh, and as it gets smaller, you're like, all right, it's headed for that field.
And you know that that's going to be a condensed
Yeah.
section. So it changes up a little bit.
Yeah.
The dropping mechanic is wildly
Well,
different.
there's no parachutes.
There's no parachute. There's no bus or plane to drop
No,
out of.
it just drops you.
It just drops you.
and then
and
there's no fall damage.
There's
in
the best
game.
part is no fall damage. So you can jump off a
Everybody,
building.
the big request: do not add fall damage, because it does. It changes the game. Like
'Cause you
you're
can-
on top of a building
And then you can just jump.
and you just jump off the building
And action roll if
and
you
action roll at the bottom.
Yes. No.
No,
We don't want Call of Duty Battle Royale.
no.
I mean, I think that should have been an April Fool's Day joke if they were going to do it. But
Hello, Chief.
good morning.
I like the idea of larger multiplayer within
Right.
Call of Duty games and Battlefield
I
games.
thought
Like,
Battlefield did.
Battlefield had like 64 people on one map,
Yeah,
so
that's their
30,
biggest- that's their
32
biggest-
versus 32, which was good.
That was their biggest numbers
Yeah,
yet.
but that's the thing is like Call of Duty doing large-scale maps with large teams, I think is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Battle Royale for Call of Duty, I don't quite understand.
No, it's not ready for that yet.
Like squad,
Especially-
doesn't feel Call of Duty to
especially-
me as opposed to
Especially when Call of Duty this year is Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Right.
When it's
Yeah.
not really designed to be massive multiplayer. It's supposed to be a small squad anyways.
and maybe that's what they're going with is get yourself small squad of people and decimate other small squads of people.
No,
But
that's not how I
I
see
don't
it.
like it.
But it makes sense
But-
in Battle Royale, PUBG, Fortnite.
Yeah, because those
then
games
Radical
are
Height
built around the Battle Royale concept.
Well, I mean,
whereas-
Fortnite kind of carved their way into that. Let's be
It
honest.
worked.
They carved.
But like when it comes to Call of Duty, I would like to see 50 versus 50 on a map. I'd like to see even 100 versus 100 on a map. I think that would be really cool.
Change
Yeah.
it. Oh, yeah, Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal.
They have done that.
Battle
They do
Royale.
that. It's Auto Royale in H1Z1.
See, there you go.
Yeah, they called it Auto Royale.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what you.
But yeah, I really like Radical Heights.
Radical Heights was fun.
There's
for
something.
the most part.
There's something there, and the big piece I think once they've gotten it sorted out is squad play. Because when we tried it, we
you
were
can
like,
only do duos.
they can only be 2 people on. And so when our colleague Brian jumps on, when he's like, "Oh, I want to play with you guys," we're like, "No."
Okay, play with Tony. I'll go start updating my Fortnite so we can all play.
Once that adds it, once it's in there,
And the reason they didn't, and I finally found an answer, is the game already has quite a few bots in it because they're trying to fill the maps, and which is getting less and less as the game is
more and more
gaining some popularity. But they didn't want to split solos, duos, and squads to make it so there's even more.
I agree. It is 100% 80s action game show feel. It is so.
It feels like and even the drop in, and that's the beautiful part about no parachute. It feels like you're
in an action movie.
You are like you drop, and as soon as you hit the ground, it does an automatic action roll, and you stand up and you're ready to
do
go.
this.
It almost feels like and you put it really well when we were playing it. It felt like we were playing with GI Joes.
Yeah.
It felt like we were playing with action hero or action figures.
Figures of
I think it needs superhero landing.
You know what? But that's probably that'll be a cosmetic thing.
They can add that in
later on. But yeah, it did. It felt like you get the gun, you've got the big muscles, and like,
over the top clothing,
the weird hair,
the sound effects.
Even you pointed it out to when you're changing your cosmetic items, instead of putting a hat as the symbol for the thing that goes on your head, it's a bandana.
Yeah.
Like they're well aware of.
The references.
The references.
Even to the point where the bug with the green tint that I got. Okay, so
we weren't sure if that was a real thing.
When the physics with the bike. Yes.
Yeah, the bike is.
The bike. We haven't found that in the real game. But when I installed it at first, I was like, is this green tint part of the 80s nostalgia? Because for whatever reason, running it in full screen on my video card gave me that error. Yeah. And so for about 5 minutes.
My game started in Windows mode, so I never.
So for about 5 minutes, I was like, this might be a thing. This might be a feature. And then 6 minutes in, I said, my eyes are bleeding. And then Brian installs his...
Same thing.
Same thing. And I'm like, no, that's just a bug.
Yeah.
That's clearly a bug. So if you run it in Windows mode, no issues.
Yeah. So yeah, it is so bad it's good. Like the bike ride. Everything about that game right now, if it's bad, it fits. Just because of the...
They've carved that theme for that.
Yeah, well, even we're running around and you're in the houses, and they're all cookie-cutter houses right now.
Yes, it's very gray walls.
And
there's no furniture.
The walls are gray. There's no furniture, and it's like you're clearly in a bedroom because there's a closet.
Yeah.
Yes,
but you're like,
and all the houses are the same right now.
All the houses are the same house right now.
So
makes sense.
So that's
yeah, exactly.
You can tell it's early access.
It's
you
copy
can tell
and
this
pasted.
game just came out.
It's copy and pasted houses back.
But the action concept of that game, I think,
the gameplay of it feels great.
Yeah,
it feels there's something there.
And they've added those game show elements, like you were saying, that make it interesting.
The spin to win with the
but there's even those win pads. So you stand on a pad, and the longer you stand there, like you have to build up a meter. And once you do a prize door opens up, and there's stuff behind it.
ATMs have that game show feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So like you're standing on this pad, and I'm like, oh, I'll beat this guy up before his door opens. And unfortunately, the door opened, and he ended up getting a gun out of it, and I still only had my fists.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, I can't get him, fast enough on the beatdown portion of this. And the starting area is quite nice because it gives you it gives you tooltips as you run up to all this stuff. So it's like, oh, this is an ATM. This is how you use it. This is a launch pad. This is how you use it. There's legit trampolines that like launch
and
you.
And BMXs are there too.
The bikes are there, so you can test out the bikes. And
it's bad physics.
It's bad physics.
It's almost like a PS2 game or Xbox 360 game.
Oh no,
they tried to shoehorn a battle royale mode into it. It looks like that.
Well, but the original Tony Hawk controlled better than these bikes.
Correct.
Yeah.
But like I was saying,
you go
like
off the half pipe, and your bike continues to like have
got momentum going forward still.
The other, not the right forward momentum. Like forward momentum off a half pipe is
straight up. Yep. But this one goes like
this one continues to go.
You.
Yeah, it continues to go, but you're still facing the wrong way. So you're legitimately facing upwards, but moving this way.
We gotta show
them
them this game.
Yeah,
it's quite an experience.
Extreme early access, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's and we full on know that. They've been
Yeah.
they have been very transparent as to like this is only 5 months of work.
We're testing out the game mechanics.
If this
and
doesn't
the
fly-
shooting and this and that.
If this doesn't fly, then we'll obviously take it back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Well, again, breaking windows with action rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, that's something we should have thought of. Cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
Well, because that's even IGN already has an early review for it.
Yes, if they were to give it a score, and honestly, that score is accurate to
Yes.
at the moment, but it's obviously going to be an evolving game.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be a review that has to keep
Going
obviously
and going and
evolving with it.
Every
'cause
month, maybe.
every major patch, I think, is you go
have to
into it and
reevaluate
review the
it.
major patches. Not the little patches, like again jumping through a window.
Not that big.
Not that big.
Well,
But if
no,
it's
it
like
could
adding
boost the
content is a
score
big
up.
piece.
It could, but yeah, all of a sudden once
adding squad play would be a huge
Right.
update.
But yeah, like I said, the squad play thing, I finally found the answer. They didn't want to split the player base.
Adding
up
in
even more.
proximity chat would be pretty big. too.
Interesting. Proximity chat, I always feel goes away because people get stupid, and I mean that was the problem even when World of Warcraft first came out. Undead in that game were supposed to be undead humans.
Yeah.
So the whole point was they could speak Common English. They could also speak an undead language. So the undead were the only horde people who could actually understand what the humans were saying and could communicate cross-faction.
Mm-hmm.
And originally the plan was that all the races could learn all the languages. So like as a dwarf, I could learn Orcish. If I did enough stuff, I could learn the language.
Yeah.
The problem became the humans and the undead. The undead were essentially translating for everybody else. And it just became this giant, like, racist, sexist. It wasn't fun. It wasn't like, for the horde and take this, you dirty alliance scum.
Yeah.
It was like, eat, boop, you booping, boop, boop, boop. And, like, if you had your profanity filter turned off, it was horrible. Not to the point like when Brian and I play Battlegrounds and someone's screaming because, they've lost their 80th match in a row
Yeah.
and they're blaming everybody else. And they're like, you
just became
mother
hate.
beepers or baby. And you're like, okay, that's that. I love you too. These ones were legitimately like, you should not be playing. You should not be allowed on the internet, sir. Like that's what was coming out. So they're like, the undead no longer speak Common. You can't communicate cross-faction anymore because it was just getting too... But that's what happens. Like, any proximity-type chat usually ends up being...
Well, even just with PUBG, when you had
Yep.
proximity chat in the plane,
Yeah.
it was just a hodgepodge of
Oh my gosh.
everything. And to the point where it was beautiful.
To a point,
Just-
yep.
yeah, where it was just amazing.
Like, that's the thing.
But-
PUBG, when I listened to it for the first little while before I shut it off, because it ended up being a cacophony.
Oh,
of,
it was
like, well,
fantastic.
no one was bad.
No, it was just a bunch of 12-year-olds
Yes.
shouting, Trump this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
blah."
And that's the thing. As long as certain words aren't used, I am totally down. It's when a 12-year-old thinks that I'm an anonymous person online and can start being
I think the beauty...
a major dirtbag, to put it politely.
And I think the beauty of it in PUBG's version before they muted it was
Yeah.
everybody was like that,
Yeah.
and you couldn't discern anything.
Right.
And again, it was I really miss it to some degree,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Yeah. And that's what I find whenever there's proximity chat added. It usually gets taken away in another patch because it's...
That's so bad.
It'd be nice, I think, if Radical Heights added, like, instead of an emote button, like a one-liner button, so you could, like, equip so many one-liner, like, really cheesy bad one-liners.
I want
that if
like
you
a
clicked,
I
it
want
would
a
be
I
like-
want a I want a
Go to
speech
every-
bubble.
Sure.
I want a speech
every
bubble.
Arnie movie.
Essentially, yeah, or it's like you break through glass, like you jump through the window, and it's like,
Eyes to see you.
sure,
I'll be back.
yeah.
Kicking
Obviously
you can
without
kick.
saying
There's
all
an
that.
action button to kick down
Doors
Not
to gain
not open
adrenaline.
the door, break the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the direction of this game.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, instead of an emote button, it's just like,
A speech bubble would be great.
a one-liner button, and yeah, I like the idea of like a speech bubble or something coming.
I mean,
and
like
saying something.
it's emoting essentially, so
Yeah.
you're making yourself a little bit more.
You
of a
just make them
target.
super cheesy and one-linery. Like Fortnite has the dances and emotes and that kind of
Yes.
stuff, so you can.
And I think
say
PUBG
something.
has started adding those in there too.
A lot of places have the emotes,
I think they have,
but
yeah. Emotes is a pretty standard thing.
yeah, but this like I feel like
You lean
Radical
in-
Heights could lean into the '80s one-liners.
Oh, they've got
and,
so
yeah.
much
Oh,
to
yeah,
work with.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They have so much to work with.
So
I
yeah,
can't wait
but
for the Knight Rider car.
It's in Planet Coaster.
I know, but I want to drive it.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't have drivable vehicles yet, and
just
there are a lot of
BMXs.
vehicles in the game, which I think could be
Water,
another interesting.
Water doesn't work.
Water doesn't work. I ran on water.
We were Jesus for a little bit.
Nice.
I'm Jesus with spiky black hair.
You
Or
got
brown hair.
I found a rocket launcher, I think.
Yeah.
Was it rocket
No,
launcher?
rocket launcher was Fortnite.
Fortnite. We found a rocket launcher, and oh man, that was kind of satisfying.
We found a
kill.
vending machine surrounded by a forest. So Tony clear cut the entire forest
And the only
bought
thing,
3 rocket launchers.
yes, and I
for
killed a
each of
few.
you?
I killed a few
Huh?
people
One
with
for
it.
each of you?
No, just for him. I bought my own.
Yeah, no, I clear cutted.
Yeah. He was outside. Brian and I are like taking down the house. The house comes down. We're like, where did the forest go? Tony's just like,
Hey guys, you guys can't get more than 999 wood.
I picked up the extra stuff because it fell on the ground. But then, yeah, he bought 3 rocket launchers. He actually bought 1, and then we started getting shot from like a mountain, and he's like, oh yeah.
Oh wait, I need more.
Like he fires a couple warning shots, and he's like, I should maybe go buy more rockets.
Hey, and I
Rockets?
did get one.
You did end up getting, you got, I
I
think,
got
a couple
dude.
kills. Yeah.
Yes, I got a dude or two.
Yeah, they started building a base like above this town where we
Suckers.
were, and I had my
Blow up
rocket
the
launcher
base
from
of
the
it.
side, yeah, and
We all
Tony
had
had
rocket-
his, and it was just like rockets flying at them from everywhere.
And I remember what's that term when you lead someone with a gun again, and you know that you're
Leading,
is that it?
Probably.
I did it with a rocket. It was really satisfying.
yeah. Fortnite I find very satisfying game to play. So yeah, we played some Fortnite. Maybe
Yes,
we're gonna,
and also Fortnite.
Segue into that.
Fortnite.
Well, because Radical Heights, we went to play squads.
Yeah.
We didn't.
And
Was the option was not there.
not an option, so we
We
switched
defaulted.
over.
So it's only
we
a
switched
if
over.
you two of you are
at the
on.
moment. Yeah.
If 2 of us are on, we can play Radical Heights.
Also,
or-
I don't like the
a
fact that it
third
kicks
one.
you out of your group right away.
And that again,
That'll
is
get
just early
fixed.
access,
That'll get
yeah.
fixed, but-
so yeah, we finish a match, and it's like, and reform
Party.
your party.
Yeah, it's a little bit inconvenience, but obviously that's something
That's an early access, thing. So yeah,
Minor.
for some Fortnite, we actually did fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, by
For
fairly
us.
well, you mean had fun.
What place?
Yes.
We did pretty good on
One
one
of
of
the
the
match-
matches. We
I think that was
finished
the-
top. We finished top 5 in one of the matches.
Yeah.
So you don't need me.
Yeah,
But
but with you actually finishing 4th on your own, you could
That's-
raise
Yeah,
us.
that was a lot of
from-
hiding, and once it got to
Welcome to the
Welcome-
Battle
welcome
Royale.
to the Battle
format.
Royale. Yeah, I just kept crawling.
It just kept crawling and it kept working, so I just kept doing
So I
it.
kept doing If Rick and Morty can't solve our problems, then really what can?
Yeah, so yeah, we Fortnited a little
Fortnited.
bit. I played. I'm not sure what kind of game this was. I was just kind of flipping through my Steam library to see what I had not.
Yeah, at
installed.
one point we
played
we
2 games.
separated from Fortnite. We were kind of done
Yes.
with Fortnite, and then
I played something called Hell Yes.
yes, you went through your Steam library. I went through my Steam library, and Brian just defaulted to WoW.
Yeah. So, okay,
But we all stayed on Discord talking. So, we're,
so you're talking about action rolls in a Harvest Moon game. I'm talking about this game it's called Hell Yeah.
I looked it up. Yeah.
And it is basically a Super Meat Boy-esque game
Yeah.
where you've got precise jumps, precise actions and attacks between different buttons. Essentially, the story is you are a bunny demon. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes. Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh yes. You are a bunny demon who is trying to reclaim his throne, but was caught by the paparazzi with you in a bubble bath, and you're trying to find that paparazzi to basically kill him before publishing those photos. Yeah, that's exactly your reaction. Is my
Tony sounded mighty confused while he was playing.
and it doesn't help that there was no volume slider
Right.
for me to crank the volume down because it's playing this sort of grungy metal music, obviously because bunnies and death metal.
Right.
Clearly.
That's basically the premise of this game. I don't know. I played it for about 10 minutes. It was cool, I guess. I don't know. I didn't have the world's greatest time. I'm sure I got it from a Humble Bundle.
Probably.
That's the only place I could think of I got it.
That's where most of my games come from. If I don't know
If
where
they're
they
cheap
came
enough, why
from.
not?
I think it was like $10 on Steam
Yeah, there's a
if you're going to buy it. But
yeah.
I don't know. It was a cool, different kind of game that I played this week. Other than that, went out for Pokemon Go Community Day with Mareeps.
Did you get a shiny Mareep?
I got about 5.
Nice.
So, but the problem, and I think people complained about this a little bit, was that the Kanto event was happening the same time as the Mareep community event.
That's what Brian's complaint was.
The problem with that was all I wanted to do was catch sheep.
Yeah.
All I found was Kanto Pokemon.
That was
and
Brian's
so
problem.
I got a mix because I went to a popular mall and I was getting both of them.
Right, and I was getting both too, but typically for community days, the features Pokemon is usually a prominent spawn. For Dratini, it was there was only Dratinis at the legislature when I was there.
What?
The wrong spot.
Well, I mean that was community day for Dratini.
Okay.
Community
I thought you were talking
No.
about
No. I don't know how it was like for Bulbasaur's community day. I was inside all day. I was doing another Pokemon thing that time.
I caught some.
But yeah, like there was only. I think I caught significantly less Mareeps.
Yeah, that was Brian's issue because I don't think saw any Mareeps. Not that he went like
Hunting.
searching.
I did.
And it helped by the fact that there was a double candy event for everything. So even though I saw less Mareeps, I got triple the amount of candy that I normally would have caught. The problem with that is if you really wanted a shiny Mareep, there were less of them to click on.
Right.
Essentially. I mean, at the end of the day, I did get 5 shiny Mareeps. So I'm not complaining about that.
Need one.
You need 3. You need 1 as a Mareep, 1 as a Flaffy, and 1 as an Ampharos.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just need a bunch of Squirtles.
Yes. I did see Squirtles. I did see Squirtles at the legislature.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was the big complaint, I guess, all around the world as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just localized to, North America or
yeah,
Asia.
Brian and I were playing some stuff, and that's what he was like. Wasn't this supposed to be like a Mareep weekend? And I'm like, yes.
Day, yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a couple hours, and
he saw nothing.
Yeah, it was very little Mareeps.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Yep.
That's basically been my week, plus Yu-Gi-Oh!
Cool.
Finished the KC Grand Championship story arc.
Nice.
And there are some. It's interesting watching that show now and knowing which sequences were edited for the American audience from 4Kids. It is fantastic watching an old man going like this and going, "I really love duels," and it's clearly like a girl dueling, and in Japanese it's like, "Oh man, hot girl."
Yeah. Oh, anime.
I love duels.
I also like duels.
I love duels so much. That was the exact line. I'm like, oh man.
I also thoroughly enjoy duels.
I'm dueling right now. I'm dueling right now. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's great. I think I'm gonna skip this next arc because it's the capsule monsters, and no one likes capsule monsters or dungeon dice monsters or anything that has to do with the cards. Basically,
I like all those.
Was there a game that had to do with the dice?
Yeah,
like an actual
Dungeon Dice Monster
on the Game Boy or whatever?
Yeah.
I like that one. As a game.
Yes,
I'm not sure about the show.
Watching the show, it's already filled with exposition.
Right.
I don't want to filled with exposition and a game mechanic that I don't really care for.
Well, because it was essentially you had to roll certain
I don't know why I skipped it.
dice or whatever it was or whatever.
Skipped
But that's the thing is now instead of the heart of the cards is essentially like, if I roll a blah, 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 you will be...
And now they're like, oh, there's multiple pharaohs. And I'm like, I don't care about most of this. I just get me to the part where I actually see the ending of this show.
Where are Blue Eyes White Dragons?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've been watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Excellent.
Because the entire series is still there, if you're interested. Other than that, I think I've been pretty thin this week. I had a lot of adult stuff.
You say you're thin.
I've been doing a lot of adult stuff. I had some teeth stuff that needed to be done.
Yeah.
I find it funny because I was at the dentist the first time around, had to do some stuff. And it was clear that I was the only person at that dentist office that watched Netflix, the Pokemon series on Netflix. Because they have the TV on the top, if you're bored or to take your mind off the fact that they're drilling stuff through your teeth. But I was the only person to watch Pokemon because all my sessions, it always ended off at that one episode. Oh, you're watching Pokemon? I'm like, yeah. Oh, you're watching Pokemon? Yep. Yeah. You're sticking a needle in my mouth. I want something to distract me. I need to distract myself somehow. So that was my go-to.
So he thought his week was thin.
I know. Mine was super thin.
All right. Tag.
I finished the last 2 episodes for Unfortunate Events.
Nice.
I don't know.
Discuss. Now we can all discuss on the same.
Good ending. Good ending.
Literal and figurative cliffhanger.
Yeah.
They definitely
These are really getting
in the belly
worse.
of the beast.
Yes.
They really get into the belly of the beast.
I think from the last Vile Village episode on, it really got really worse for them.
And it's supposed to. Like, that's the thing, is the books all of a sudden goes.
You're not going to have a good time.
Lemony Snicket, even in the book, switched from like going from Guardian to Guardian to now going from location to location. Like, the kids are like, we pretty much have to take care of ourselves at this point.
Guardian dies.
Yeah, one big piece that they did change was henchmen in the last one were supposed to die in the hospital and the carnival. Or quit.
Oh, maybe they quit in the next one.
So that's kind of now that's
all his henchmen? Or?
Not all. The white-faced ladies leave.
Okay.
They're supposed to quit. So that's kind of, people online are now speculating. They're like, well, like the man who is not or the person who's not a man or a woman, kind of seems to have a conscience. Mm-hmm. So maybe like they'll quit. In the next part of the series.
Well, maybe after the lion stuff.
Maybe, and that's when people were supposed to quit, and that's why they picked up extra hench people. Was essentially some people quit and some people came in, and it changed the dynamics of the group.
And it is less books to go through too. For the next.
No, it's still 4.
Isn't it? Less?
This one was more than.
There's 4 books left.
What did we finish on? Yes, there are 4 books left.
Right. Yeah. So I'm saying season 3.
This next one's supposed to be 8 episodes.
Yes, not 13 or whatever it ended up being.
Yeah, this one ended up being quite. The first season was shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at it.
I know I was looking at it too, and I'm like, I'm kind of hoping they do the final book in 3 episodes. At least the final book in 3 episodes.
Is enough stuff in there?
Yeah, it's a big book. Well, so I'm kind of hoping that's.
I still like that Neil Patrick Harris jab in the carnival. It's like, I've tried that for 9 seasons. Yeah. I'm like,
it's like, why don't you get a TV show? And it's like,
I did that for 9 seasons. Where did it get me? Where did that get me?
Like, they did a lot. Yeah, there was some good stuff. The fact that people die, and I know they die, was cool. Just actually, they pulled it off though. Like that's the thing is. But for a TV show, you're like, okay, are they actually going to kill people that they're supposed to kill? Yeah. And they did.
I thought he said at the start of the carnival, when he was looking in the pit, there were 2 bodies. I thought he said there were 2 bodies, and there wasn't.
I'd have to look again.
I don't want to just rewatch that one part.
I'd have to look again. I want to reread the books after this, too. Cause just
yes.
Because I have a suspicion that... But I wouldn't be going anywhere, obviously, since the character's dead. But
yeah. But they actually killed people. Like that's something.
Oh, yeah.
I like the kids getting more into the whole VFD stuff, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Volunteer fire departments.
Sure.
The whole the whole VFD stuff expanding as it does. The fact that like we get to see the ball, I think, is a big piece of it.
Mm-hmm. Is that not in the books?
The part with the ball itself and him alluding to a girl in a costume getting shoved off of a balcony, that's there.
Yeah.
But
if she even
all of the nice cameos and all of those things that are happening is not in the books. It is, in fact, he did do a series not through the same publisher. So it's a completely different publisher, and he wrote essentially young Lemony Snicket books. Mm-hmm. Which I still have yet to read. Apparently, there is a ball in one of those books, so they're starting. He's taking some of his other stuff and incorporating it in. So it's cool to see everybody coming back for little cameos. And
it got
I know,
way worse.
Gets way worse real quick.
And
that's the lovely thing about this next one is they are separated.
Yeah,
and 2 of them are obviously not going to die, but that would make a horrible, horrible show.
I don't know.
With the one remaining person left being a baby. We shall follow Sunny for the rest of these books.
Hey, I got a X-ray pass.
So, yeah.
Next book is Slippery Slope.
Slippery Slope.
April 29th.
In the mountains.
Yeah. I do like the ridiculousness of... Oh, I'm a freak. I'm ambidextrous.
Yeah, I know. That was even in the...
What?
That's Stephen Amell's brother.
I know. I had to look it up after.
Well, I saw it on the credits. I'm like, Mel. I'm like,
Just the fact I'm ambidextrous.
What a freak I am. And it's like, but your perfectly symmetrical face and da-da-da. Like,
look at him as he tries to do the same thing with both hands.
Yeah, watch as he does it with both hands.
He's shaving
what a freak!
Both hands.
Well, yeah.
We're just like...
the one individual guy who was at the carnival first,
Yeah.
who was like, oh, that is weird, was Neil Patrick Harris's husband.
Oh, okay.
And the two kids who were like, is this appropriate for children? Like the two blonde
Those
kids?
kids?
Those are his kids.
Okay.
So I thought that was really cute, how he fit his family into like a tiny little part of...
Yeah.
That was good. I thought that was really well done, because it's like, is this appropriate for children? Sure! And then they get eaten and the kids are like, I want to go home.
Yeah, there's that. And then took my brother to go see Tomb Raider.
Nice. How was Tomb Raider?
How did you... Okay, what were your expectations going into this movie? I guess
Not
it's
very high.
okay.
And coming out?
Met it's what it was supposed to do.
Okay, so it's as advertised then.
Like
then, eh?
where the Angelina Jolie one was more like cheesy.
It's
Yes.
very
It
comical.
It was
very comical.
more video gamey. This was more realistic take on it.
Was it realistic to the point of like the newer games?
Yes,
Yeah.
it follows that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it follows that more. Yes, she did get a
Yeah.
thing in there and
Right at the beginning.
pretty close to it. Yeah.
So she survives an entire movie with like a giant...
Well, like my
wound.
brother said,
Oh,
and I even
God.
made the comment after because I mean he works in the medical profession.
She
Yes,
was like-
getting stitches fixes everything, especially when you've got to climb things and use your abdominal muscles. It
all
doesn't-
that internal bleeding
stitches
that's going
help.
on.
It,
Yeah.
No, it helps heal. It goes like farther apart and,
And
then comes a lot closer.
the stitches help. They
Yeah.
totally heal.
Science. Science.
I was wondering about that because, like, even in the game, it's like you fall down that large thing, and it's like, okay, her fall is slightly broken by hitting all those rock faces and
That
things.
doesn't make it better.
But that giant kerplunk at the end on top of the thing and like skewering yourself, and I'm like,
It was a small skewer, to be honest. It wasn't a totally.
there's a lot of important
Fin-
pieces in this part of your body.
I know.
Like that's my thing that made me even laugh in the game.
Intestines.
Yeah, kidneys,
Those-
appendix.
who needs those? You don't need the appendix.
No, but if it bursts, you're in trouble. Like that's the shtick. Ooh, well, thank you.
Howdy.
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 Howie.
Howdy.
Thanks, 256.
It's been a while since I've played that first game, though.
Yeah.
So it was really hard. Obviously, there was the key things that
Yeah.
came out that were in this. I didn't realize that the actual like supernatural part of it.
It's pronounced Huffy.
Oh, Huffy. Okay.
Huffy.
Thanks, Huffy.
Thank you.
The supernatural. I didn't realize that what they were going for was actually in the game. I thought it was a totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the game it was more supernaturally.
Yeah.
In this, they actually had a kind of an explanation,
Oh,
but a reasonable like it makes sense.
but I don't want it to.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, Tomb Raider to me was always the counter to Indiana Jones, which
Well,
it did do the spiritual stuff and actually obviously stuck with it if you watch all of them. It's
Sure.
like, oh, the Ark of the Covenant is legitimately the Ark of the Covenant and has supernatural powers.
movie.
Tomb Raider.
The movie. The what's her name? One?
Oh, I don't know
Yes.
her name.
What's she in, other than Tomb Raider?
Good question.
Tomb Raider.
I know she's. Who is she married to? I think it was Fassbender.
Oh,
Michael Fassbender was in it.
no,
she's
that's who she's married to.
Oh,
I think.
Hold on, I've got you. Alicia Vikander.
Yes.
She was in Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
Yes.
Tomb Raider. Birds Like Us. Euphoria.
She's not in too much.
Tulip Fever. She's been in 36 films.
Not too much.
Jason Bourne.
Yes.
I never watched that one.
She
I haven't
was
watched that one yet
in
either.
the latest one.
I just Jason Bourne. Ex
Sorry, keep track
Machina,
of those.
Seven
The one where
Sons.
Matt Damon came back.
Hey man, Matt Damon's awesome.
Matt
He
Damon.
plays Loki.
He is better. Just as good.
But I mean, the explanation for it
Yeah.
was essentially it was supernatural to the people
Oh,
all the
believed
times.
it. Got it.
But now that you kind of look at it,
It's all
you-
smoke and mirrors or
it's
whatever
not.
else.
Yes, it's smoke and mirrors, and there's like, oh, okay, type thing. They did have the main human, I guess.
Yeah.
And the villain, I guess.
So okay, are there monsters in this
No.
not supernatural movie? Or
No, there's no monsters in
okay.
it at all.
Oh, that's weird.
She doesn't
Does she at
really.
least fight a
She
tiger?
doesn't really raid any tombs until the end, which I think that was the first.
That's the first one too.
Yep.
I think
It's the introduction to
yes,
Riot.
it's introduction to her.
Yeah.
And, if you've played the first game,
Yep.
you know how one of the characters with the reveal was with that person.
Oh.
So
I knew it going to the
so
trailer.
is this like basically like a carbon copy of
No.
that new?
It changed it. I think it changed it enough.
That it's a fun movie to see,
Yes.
but you know what's coming if you've played the game.
Yes. It just didn't, like I said, it didn't add the supernatural to it.
Okay, now here's the question, because this is how I judge movies with Chris. Are we buying it on Blu-ray?
Yes.
See, there you go.
So it's not a complete.
So it's a viewable movie.
So it's not a complete horse.
I will give you the digital.
No, we're
copy
good.
when
I
it
don't even
comes
need that.
out.
It's like all even. It's more
We'll
of a
find
like.
it.
The
Yeah,
game's
the game-
amazing.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
the last few ones have been.
I can't wait for the show.
Right.
In September.
I still need to play Rise.
I have to finish Rise.
The last time I was in that one, I was getting out of a tomb, like not tomb, like a
Why don't you get out of a tomb in that
not
game?
tomb.
But yeah, like that's the thing is, no, I'll rent it. It's more of like, should I rent it versus, or should
You
I
can have the
just,
digital
should I just not bother with this one sort
Have
of
the
thing?
digital
It's
copy.
all good. Like I say, I appreciate that, but it's more of a, is it worth viewing this film?
I think so.
Obviously, if you're buying it, usually that's a good indication.
I think if you
of
like
it.
the first, I think if you like the new reboot
game,
of
yeah.
the games,
It's
I think
basically
you'll,
that.
You'll like
Nice.
this. They're not as big as cast, I guess, in the game because
Right.
in the game how there was that you had those people that were going with you, and you had to essentially find them.
Yeah,
Yes, I have.
I was gonna say
Also me.
we will eventually watch that. I think
That was also really good.
that's
I bought the book now, so I gotta get.
I just need. Oh, good. Let me know. My
Well, that's gonna might be a while for it.
my coworker is like, you have to read this book, and I'm like,
Don't you have it?
Ready Player One, no,
I thought you did.
No.
I thought it came in one of those loot boxes.
no,
Okay.
no. I don't
You
have
would've
Ready
put a
Player
book
One.
in there.
I have the key. I have a key to Ready Player One.
No, that's not.
Yes.
But he really like. He's like, you'll enjoy it, and I'm like, why? And he's like, because you enjoy the '80s stuff and actually understand it.
Now I don't know if it is it. Is this a series for Ready Player One books?
I don't.
No, I think it's just one.
Or is it just the one?
I think it's
Because
one.
it has the picture of the movie on it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's only one. It's only one.
So there's only one. Okay,
Yeah.
because
I'm
there's
going to
another
start
book.
referring to the mail that way.
The Post.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I looked in the bookstore, there was another book by the same authors called Armada.
I'd
I
have to
didn't
look
know
it up
if it was
online.
the
I don't
part
know.
of it, but
They might, in the success of it, they did a follow up, but I don't think it's
Okay.
meant to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to read Mary Poppins, so that's my latest read.
Yeah.
Is Yondu in it?
No,
Oh.
neither are any of the songs.
Oh. Well.
okay, I'm good with that. No, I would. It's definitely worth a
Google
watch.
it.
I think.
Yeah.
Tomb
it's-
Raider.
Yes, Tomb
Tomb
Raider is
Raider.
definitely worth a watch.
And yeah, you said Ready Player One was awesome, so or a good movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
We are Canadian, eh?
Si no hablo inglés, porque-
That's why I could get away with saying. That's why I could get away with saying in the post, because we as Canadians bridge that lovely line between British and
British and-
American, like English.
Yeah.
We can take all the idioms we want to and just be like, yeah, it's Canadian.
And then I watched the second last thing on my marathon, which is Spider-Man.
You're catching up. You got
Excellent.
what? One left, right?
Yeah.
I figured you were British. That's the thing. I get in the post. I know
You
where that
guys
comes
call
from.
it, You guys call it the bonnet. The hood of a car.
What do you call toques?
What's a toque? Do you know what a muckluck is? What is a timbit?
No, I love I mean I watch how much BBC.
Oh, yeah.
I love British stuff.
It's dry. It's funny. It's great.
But that's the thing is that's why I'm happy to be Canadian, because I mean we were still part of the we're still kind
We're
of
part of the empire.
We're still part of the empire in
Hail-
a sense.
Hail
but
Hydra.
We still put that your queen's still on our money. Like that's the the thing is we kind of asked real nice if we could be our own country.
Yeah.
And you guys
America's-
said yes. Americans did the weird thing. So
just did it.
that's why we
They
can.
revolted.
That's why we can bridge that weird kind of cool gap where we're like we're cool with parts of Europe and here and there and everywhere.
We won't backtalk you. You won't backtalk us.
Oh
We're
no,
cool.
I love a
Yeah.
lot of British culture
Yeah.
stuff. The only thing I don't really understand is the huge deal with the monarchy.
I don't know.
I still read about it, and I still like the biggest piece is like Meghan Markle from Suits is marrying
Yes.
the prince.
Harry.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I
You're
watched
right.
you on
Okay.
TV.
Sometimes I can't get.
So good. I love the In-Betweeners.
I'm big
There's
on
a new. There's a. I think
I'm
there's
big
a
on
You
new-
would
Sherlock.
like the In-Betweeners.
I think there's. I think it's British. I might be wrong on this. There's that new show on Netflix, the Rostered,
Oh yeah.
where it's a boat
Yeah.
retail. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've seen.
Oh, I'm
clips
big
from
on
it.
I'm big on Sherlock. So
Yeah.
Well, and it's
Sherlock is
it's
a big piece for me.
Best Buy
Oh yeah, I know.
for me.
You should watch
The In-Betweeners.
In-Betweeners.
Is it on Netflix?
It was. It was on our. It was on our. It was on our Netflix.
It might be. I'll check.
fact checking.
It's where
You
I
can
watched
start
it.
talking about what you
oh,
do.
all right, fine.
Because that's it for me.
Uh-huh.
Yay!
In the meantime,
I bought a game because the developers intrigued me enough.
Told me to.
No, they told me not to buy their game.
Okay. Okay, there, Lemony Snicket.
I have to do it anyways.
They got on the Nintendo Switch subreddit, and they announced that their game has a game-breaking bug that essentially crashes their game.
Okay.
So it's called The Now Remastered. It's an old, it looks like kind of an old point-and-click
Yeah.
adventure. So essentially, it's in the future, and your wife has died, and you put her into a cryogenic freezing type tube. And your
Okay.
whole shtick is you've got to escape this planet, and I'm assuming once you escape this planet and get this spaceship, you go to other planets and have to pretty much do what you can to get her back to life. Like, I think that's the premise of what's going on right now.
Okay.
It kind of leads you in mysteriously and kind of gives you small details, so I'm still figuring that out because I don't want to go too fast. Because the post from the developers essentially said we were going to delay the game, but we just found this bug. And Nintendo went, we've already sold pre-purchases to this game. We can't really delay it, but we can speed up the patch, essentially.
Okay.
Like, we can't day one patch this sucker, but in like a week or two, the patch will be out to fix this game.
Okay.
The end boss of Chapter 2, if you do not beat them within 2 minutes and 30 seconds, your game crashes and could potentially delete your save file.
Uh-oh.
So it becomes a speed run for the final boss or
For
the second chapter.
second chapter boss. So, they on the subreddit, they're like, okay, here's what you do. You get to the boss fight, close the game. Like, if you're buying our game, this is what you do. Close the game. Because when you close the game at the boss fight, it'll put a save point there.
Okay.
And that save point is fine. Here's how you beat the boss in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wow.
So they posted how to beat the boss. They're like, if you don't want to, that save file will be all right, and you can just keep trying on your own. If you legitimately just want to get through that without having to restart your game and getting mad at us, here's how you beat the boss. We understand if you aren't going to buy our game until the patch is out, we'll let you know when that is. But for now, don't buy our game. And they're like, the only unfortunate part is you get a deal if you bought it before it came out. So it was $15 for me as opposed to 20 or 18 or whatever it's going to be. And I'm like, the fact that you're admitting your game is super broken and that you've sent the patch in to fix it.
And good on Nintendo for being like, this is the best case scenario for you.
Right?
We'll
The fact that everybody's playing ball and everybody's doing this, I'm like, your game intrigued me enough when I looked at it the other day. All right, I'm in. Like, it was essentially really bad advertising was what they were doing. Was like, our game is super broken, don't buy it. And I'm like, I shall purchase your game.
Stop buying our game! That's why are you guys even?
So it's very puzzly. It's very like, the old it's a 2D side scroller. So essentially this one I have to get a spaceship from my company that I work for. So I've broken into the company and there's like security lights and they go red and green, and if they're green you can go past them, if they're red you can't. There's robots that are patrolling the factory that I'm in or whatever it is, so you have to watch their patterns and you know, move. Think the old Prince of Persia game, like the old Prince of Persia game.
Yeah.
Where it was like you had to time your jumps just right, and if you stepped on the wrong block, spikes would come up. So you always have to be looking at everything. It's kind of one of those games.
Okay.
So that you're collecting things as you go, and you're solving little puzzles.
Kind of sounds like a, what is it, Mark of the Ninja?
Slower paced, way slower paced. It's like essentially like your guy is human. If you fall off the ladders from too big a height, you die.
So you're saying there's fall damage?
Oh yeah.
Aw.
I got an achievement for it though.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's an achievement on a Switch?
They are in the game. They are built in.
What's a Switch achievement?
Which is delightful. So they're built in.
Coins?
No, it's just it. So you can actually in the game. There's an achievement
That would be
list, and you
nice.
can just go hunting for.
Okay,
achievement lists.
you sound like Uplay for a little bit. Don't.
I liked that feature. Of
I loved
Uplay
Uplay.
until it was just a DRM like
Well,
launcher.
No, if the Switch did something like that, where you get a coin for every achievement you get,
yeah, I'd be down with it.
and you can use those coins to redeem for games.
I would even say like Uplay I think did it really well. Get an achievement. Certain achievements got you coins. Those coins bought you in-game weird little.
I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
and then
That's how I got the RoboCop gun
Yeah.
in Far Cry 4.
So either way, the Now, pretty cool game. Like I said, I'm taking it real slow. One, because I'm stuck at a puzzle right now, and two, I was legitimately like, your character can walk or run, and I'm like, I shall walk everywhere so as not to get to the end of chapter 2 too quick. Planet Coaster, I have completed my front entrance, or at least the
You're getting
shape
somewhere?
of my front entrance.
of your sex.
Nope.
Nope. My
Porn dungeon?
my main street is almost done, but now I'm rethinking the sides. Like I was gonna have a park kind of thing as you enter my park,
Fireworks.
like an actual park, trees and benches and that kind
Bushes.
of stuff.
Bushes.
You gotta stop talking about Planet Coaster out
I
here.
know. So either way, the front part of it, if you want to shape it in this general shape,
Okay.
because it is very phallic at this very point in time.
Oh my god, just stop there.
It is right
Would you
now.
say that you're at the climax?
No, not even close.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
I'm working my way there though.
How long can you hold out though?
A long time.
Well, you've always left me satisfied.
Really. So either way,
Now you're
I
still
was
in the office.
I was building
That's what she
my. I got my train station done. My train station. If you go to Disneyland, first thing you see when you go into the park is a train station.
Okay.
My thing is the entrance and the train station are one, and it's a monorail station instead of a train station.
So this is like
Monorail!
It's in your. It's in.
Monorail.
It's inside.
So there's
it's
glass.
like a loop.
There's glass panels, and it shows the monorail, which will obviously do the big loop of once I finish the rest of the park. It'll do the
Okay.
big loop, but the glass entrance. So I'm using the new glass panels, so it shows off the monorail right before you. And again, a very
Does it
phallic symbol is a
crash?
monorail. No. Well, actually, now if I press the test button, because there's only this much track, it
Does
will
it keep
go.
going.
So is there
fast until
animation-
it flies off?
Is there animations for it, like crashing and exploding?
Not exploding. The pieces of the thing will go off the track, and the physics take over, and it.
Really fast
It's a
train
monorail.
track.
It's
Think the tube, but on one track.
instead
So
of two.
Yeah, it attaches at the bottom, and
Yeah. Usually, it's got like magnets and stuff like
the
that.
only place that really uses monorails is
Japan.
Disney and Japan.
Yeah.
Like in North America, Disney uses monorails because Disney was like, they're cool,
In Japan,
and everybody else was like, those are expensive.
in Japan just does it because it's
Name your
faster to
driver.
go
It's
across.
faster.
Can you name your driver on the monorail?
No,
Oh, you can't name it to whoever that guy
Homer.
was in Simpsons. What have we-
it's cool tech.
Yeah,
Um,
go YouTube it later
Homer.
on.
Yeah,
Go YouTube it
it's
later.
cool tech, and that's why Disney. If you go to Disneyland or Disney World, they have monorails.
The driver was Homer. Could you stop with a big sign?
What?
I can't remember. Letter of a sign? I can't remember what he stopped
I
with.
forgot.
Anchor.
No, I cannot stop with an anchor.
Okay.
I can put an anchor somewhere on one
If you
of
can make
my...
this very Simpson-y, that'd be great.
I'm not putting a Simpson world in, but if it helps,
No. If you make it Simpson-y.
if it
Simpsons
helps
Park.
for you, I will put in an anchor in my monorail station in my pirate land. How does that sound? That'll be my little reference to you.
No, you know what my reference to
I know
me
what
would
you're.
be.
I know. I love that episode because again,
No,
that's,
you know what my reference to me in your park would be.
I'm not. Well,
And
again,
you're not doing it.
Sex.
what shape is my main street at this current time?
Boobs?
No, it's a phallic symbol.
Yeah, I know what that is already.
Well, you can make boobs too.
I could. Well, the rest of the park is going to go into giant, pretty much circles. So you'll see.
Perfect.
Either way, Planet Coaster, I got that done.
Cool.
My wife and I watched Iron Man 3,
Yay!
meaning I watched Iron Man 3.
Slow on his marathon.
It's not the marathon is not to catch up to Infinity War. Brian and I have been playing WoW. You can watch that on our.
You guys have been
YouTube.
wowing.
We've reached level 40 with our druids.
Is that like the level cap?
No, level cap's 110.
Oh.
But we've gone 20 levels in the last couple weeks, so we're making some progress.
Well, I'm sure there's like pro strats on how to get to 110 real quick.
Oh, we could. Okay, so essentially, I'm a tank. I'm a bear. We're
Yeah.
both druids. I'm a bear.
Isn't he the cleric?
We're both druids.
Oh.
He's a Healy druid, though.
Oh, he the druid.
He's the godfather of this universe.
Well, no, that's Robert Downey Jr. Let's not
That's
get
Jon
the two
Favreau.
mixed up.
It's
Well,
Jon
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau.
I watched a really good video that Marvel keeps putting out videos, and there's one of a very modest Jon Favreau.
I don't want to watch any of them.
No, it's just a montage of like all the old stuff. It'll make you cry before it gives anything away. There's nothing that it gives away. It's pretty much Jon Favreau 3 weeks before Iron Man comes out, going, "Well, we did our best." And he's like, so this movie's either going to flop big time, become a moderate success, or go places we have, like, no idea.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, John, like, if only you knew 10 years ago
what this is going to do.
what your one film was going to explode into.
He's still tied to most of those films, aren't they?
Producers or something like that.
Is that Jon Favreau?
Yeah,
Other than being
I want to
happy?
say producer.
Other than
Yeah,
being
producer.
happy?
Even Iron Man 3, he was producer.
Yeah, he just didn't direct it.
Didn't direct. Which I thought was funny, because he's, like, Happy's in that movie quite a bit for Iron Man 3.
But he carved that character
at
up
the
for himself.
start, but then he.
Well, because he
He
blows
becomes
up.
a plot point.
Yeah, he becomes a plot point. But, like, Happy was really in it, so.
That is a good choice.
Well, Deadpool 2 is coming out,
Yeah,
so.
it's a very good film.
Spider-Man. Not the
I actually
Amazing
do.
Spider-Man. The other ones
Tobey
were
Maguire.
okay. I like the Tobey ones pretty good, but Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man.
Bullets are really fast.
Either way, bullets are really fast. So we watched Iron Man 3, played some WoW. Radical Heights, obviously.
Radical.
After Radical Heights, I downloaded and bought.
So this was your bit.
This was my
When
weird
we-
thing.
when we were
put
doing-
Radical Heights in Fortnite, I switched over to a game called
Pointia?
My Time in Portia.
Portia, that's the
What, yeah.
Now, when I read it in my, like,
Now, is that Minecrafty one?
it does not look like Minecraft.
But it's
It looks like an old Harvest Moon game. It's smooth textures. It's over-the-top kind of buildings.
okay. Because I'm
Cartoony world. Like, so you'll have really skinny guys.
Yeah.
You'll have really plump guys. You'll have really muscular guys. And it all fits their personalities.
Yeah.
Which is what the old Harvest Moon games used to do. Was you could tell, like, you know, these two guys walking around, and they were kind of triangular shaped almost, with big noses and big mustaches and aprons on. It's like, oh, they're the, like, kooky mechanic guy. No, not even big muscles, like skinny guys. But they're just like, and you're like,
Hold on, I gotta
and then you
Google
talk
this
to them. Yeah, it's an interesting looking game. And the whole point to it is, it's not a farming game. You inherit a workshop, and your job is to make things for the people in town.
Okay.
On top of that, mining in this game, it's not like mining in a Harvest Moon game where you're like cracking rocks open and hoping something pops out.
Yeah.
This one you have to pay for a license to go into these mines.
What?
It's a weekly license, so every week you have to pay.
How much?
Oh, I see it. Oh,
80
okay.
gold.
I remember
Is that a
now.
lot?
It was to start off with. Once you get into the mine, it's
Yeah.
okay because now you're gathering
It's
resources.
kind of annoying that you have to keep redoing the license.
It works out okay. Like, the license pays for itself within 5 minutes of being in that mine, essentially. But once you get into the mine, the reason there's a license is because they lend you a jetpack
Just like real life.
and goggles,
Real
and
life.
the goggles help you see stuff underground.
Just like real life.
And then you have to take your
Well, the
pickaxe
goggles, yeah, maybe.
and start digging. And it actually, like, it's a geomoddy kind of thing. So as you go through the ground, it's legitimately in a 3D space. You're digging
Oh.
down or
Is
sideways.
it
or
randomly
upwards.
generated?
Yes.
Okay.
So you collect stuff down in the thing, and then every once in a while you come across these discs, and they're data discs to lead to new technologies. So you can take these data discs to the laboratory, and you can give them 5, 10, or 20 data discs, and they'll give you research back for something new to build to help your workshop.
Okay.
So essentially like a bigger furnace that does more with ore, or a bigger cutting station that does more with wood or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you can take them to the church because the church has deemed them evil
Yes.
And
because the
burn them?
technology inside of them is evil and will lead to the end of the world.
Clearly, that's
according
how
to the
technology
church.
goes.
Yes.
And if you give them to the church, they'll give you seeds so that you can farm instead of workshopping.
So is there actual like an end game to this, or is just
At this point, I'm not sure.
go down, get resources, come back,
Does-
build, farm?
There is stories going on, and there's like how they've worked it out is you can unlock different parts of the world, and there's more mines to go to.
Does that mine you're working on reset?
Yes, every
itself?
and it's very single,
Every day or every week?
Every day.
and it's very single player. There's no multiplayer.
Single player, no multiplayer. This is like old school kind of a Harvest Moon.
See, I could see them
So-
doing that in the future thing.
This one's
'Cause-
cool though because you do gain levels, and as you gain levels, there's tech trees.
Oh God.
So as you talk to people,
God.
it's like you can actually get them to like you more. Like you can become more sociable.
Speech code raises to 100.
It kind of is. So like all of a sudden, and then the same thing, you can get married in the game, like all the Harvest Moon games. This one goes that step further than a lot of the Harvest Moon games.
you have kids?
You can still have. I'm not sure if you can have kids yet. I'm not sure if that's in the game, but
Get
you can
married.
actually get married to a boy or a girl.
Yes.
Which took Harvest Moon a really long time to catch on to. So you can do that. There's rival workshops that you're trying to compete with for jobs. But to unlock things, like I have to build a bridge right now to get to the next part of the game. But to build a bridge, I essentially have to have a complete workshop. So I have to have all the machines. I have to have all of the like stuff I need for resources
Yep.
to start building this bridge. So it's not like it's just like build a bridge and you're like, okay, so you go start cutting down trees and just putting wood in a place where a bridge would go. You legitimately have to build all these machines to manufacture all the parts you need to then start putting pieces of this bridge together. And then once you do that, you unlock a whole new island,
More caves to go under.
more caves to go under, more resources to get.
More people to marry. Sister
You can
wives.
if you want.
Sister wives.
I think most of the... Well, actually, there's a long list. Like, there's a social button you can press, and it kind of shows you the people you've talked to and how well you know them.
Now, is it just the digging thing? Can you do like?
You can farm.
Well, can you
Well, 'cause,
also
yeah, 'cause
can you
it's-
do anything else like build spaceships and stuff?
Not so far, no.
Or like an airship or something like that.
No, there is a bus that we have to fix at some point.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's very... There might be an airship, like this. The world that it's created in could definitely fit. Like
I was
a,
just gonna say because
blimp
the
type
more
airship.
the more islands you
Yeah,
discover or connect,
you can ride horses.
done.
That's how you get around faster.
You should have just lived with that horses.
Horses. Well, I don't have that. They haven't even. I haven't seen a horse yet. So, there's
catch one in the wild.
and the cool part of the game is there's one stamina bar. So when you're running, it uses just like an energy bar,
Okay.
and then there's a stamina bar.
So stamina, energy are different.
Stamina is like when you use your pickaxe, you're using stamina.
Okay.
The energy bar is just short bursts of energy. So like if you're running, you'll use that bar. If you action
Breath
roll,
of the Wild has taught me that both those are the same.
nope. This game separated them, which is quite nice because, like, if you're running from one part of town to the other, you can run,
Yep.
but it's not like you can run everywhere. There's no fall damage yet either, which is delightful because like
Yet.
the church is on top of this giant hill.
Yeah.
Parachute.
No parachute. I just jumped.
Barrel. Not a barrel.
Yeah.
Action
Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Just Battle Royale mode in Portia.
in Portia. Yeah, I am Nick.
Tony.
Chris
There you go.
and Brian.
And
Chair.
Brian.
The chair. Brian. The chair.
So either if you dig, like this feels like a Harvest Moon game, which I have not played in a very long time. Stardew Valley
Doesn't say that's
Is
the
a-
closest thing.
is a good game, but it does not remind me of Harvest Moon.
Because Stardew Valley is very much its own
and
style.
this is on a Switch or
This is on the PC.
But I'm sure it's on Switch too.
I'm sure Portia will once it's out of early. It's still early
Oh,
access.
early access.
All that stuff. Once it's out of early access, I can see them bringing it. It would be a really good game for the Switch, and I would honestly probably buy it for the Switch. You can buy extra land so you can start expanding your workshop and getting bigger spaces and all that kind of stuff. He is working today.
He is being a productive member of
is
society.
working.
Every once in a while, you'll have missing chairs because we do other
we-
things. So
yes.
unfortunately,
Brian,
usually he has
Brian
the day
and I
off.
are usually the ones that are in and out.
Actually,
It depends
I
on
have
the
a
time.
date in the next few weeks that I'm not.
See,
Better-
it depends on the day. All of a
Better
sudden,
not be the one I'm not here for.
Which one are you not here for?
First weekend
you
of May.
working. Yeah, that's what he thought too.
Which is
First weekend of May.
that's not helpful.
May 1st.
I have a date. Okay, there you go.
Oh, no, hold on. May 5th.
Okay, then I'm the week after.
Okay.
You better be here.
I'm here. I'm here. I'll be here. I'll be here. Hello!
That's, I know. I'm always worried. One time we're gonna have one person here, and it's just like, here are my
I
opinions
can't
on the
hold
things
this
happening.
together.
I'm
I
just
can't
going
do
to
it.
play video games.
Yeah, we'll just do a stream or something that day. I won't be here on the 19th.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Wait, what's the 19th?
The long weekend.
There's a long weekend coming up?
18th. Yeah,
Hold on.
that's the long weekend.
We-
the May long weekend.
Anywho.
Either way,
Yes.
no, it's good you're bringing that up. Either way, no, Portia. If you've played some of
Stardew
the
Valley.
older, no, if you've played some of the older Harvest Moon games,
That's
the N64 versions, the PlayStation versions, the GameCube one, Magical Melody, it fits that type of game more. A little
Yeah.
bit cartoony, caricature characters. Like the mayor is a very plump guy with a big nose, like. You know that
Yeah.
I'm an important mayor. There's voice acting in the game,
Yeah, that was your big thing.
which
when
was
we were
really
talking.
cool because, like, you've always lend your own voices to characters when they start typing, and you look at their model and you go, okay, like,
yeah.
probably sound like this. But this game, I started talking to one girl, and she's very kind of plain apron, big glasses. But she starts talking, and she's like, "Do you want to see my flowers?" And I'm like, "No, no."
She's bringing you to her sex dungeon.
I know, like I'm like
Sex dungeon.
So that was actually I've never thought of that feature in a game like this, and how much it would affect, because she's one of the bachelorettes that you can pick from, and I'm like,
Do it.
nope.
Do it.
And then even the
That is weird.
like there's the one that works at the bar or hangs out at the bar.
She's the bartender.
No, the bartender is
You'll hit on her.
I forgot what the guy. Well, so normally in the Harvest Moon games, if you've ever played any of the Harvest Moon games, Karen is the girl that I usually find and go after. Right? Hello. So I usually kind of it's like she's the barfly in most of the like Harvest Moon games, and I'm like, all right. So this one I'm like, oh, it's the barfly. Let's see what. And she's like, oh my god, they make the best wine here ever. And I'm like, oh man.
This game is weird.
I can't go after you.
It almost because
You
you were mentioning it sounded like they got their friends to do.
It is very early voice because some of the stuff does have voices, some of it doesn't. Obviously, the intro story, like the guy introducing you to workshops and how they work and the work board, he's done. Like he's got his
It's all
voice. He's
placeholder
in.
voices.
He's
almost.
in. Your guy, like the voices are in, and some of these things they might just be like they wanted the character to have these voices, and this is just who they got to do the voices.
Yeah.
But it is very much like it has affected my choices in game now because I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind
Yeah, so-
learning more about this person who grows flowers and does this or does that. But as soon as you hear her voice, it's like we will be friends.
Friends mode.
Friends, like that's
you
it.
friend
Like,
zoned
yeah,
her.
I wish there was a button you could click that was just like
Friend
no
zone.
romancing.
It's 2018. Friend zones happen.
My biggest
all the time.
my biggest
It
piece that
happens.
I'm really hoping for, and I haven't played enough of it, is Rivals for the girls, because that always made the Harvest Moon games interesting. Like the Harvest Moon game, if you wanted to go after this person, there was another guy in the village who was also trying to
Yeah.
marry that person. So you essentially had to make sure you were giving gifts and doing like the video game stuff equivalent to, you know, courting and hitting on.
Here's a gift.
Yeah.
Here
is an egg.
I heard you like this.
There was a comic on the Harvest Moon subreddit that was actually two of the girls talking. He's like, I don't know who this guy is, but every night he comes to the bar. He doesn't say a word. He just hands me an egg and runs off. I think I'm in love. Like,
just like real life.
Totally.
Isn't
that's
that
how it works,
isn't
right?
that how dating works?
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
doing it wrong.
Here's an egg. Come home. Here's an egg. Either way, I also got Streets of Red, cheap game on my Switch.
Yes.
It is a brawler multiplayer.
Ooh,
Yeah. So like Streets of like
Final Fighty. Is it kind of like fun?
think it's got the isometric Scott Pilgrim-y, you can go up and down on the screen type thing.
Yeah.
Very Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
Streets of Red.
Oh my god.
The whole point is a fairy comes, like red fairy and goes like, "We need you to save the world. Like zombies are attacking and da 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 da. And only gamers can save the world. I'll grant you special powers." So there's like
just like real life.
So there's a guy and he's like the missing link is what his character name is, and he's got a trash can and a crowbar.
Of course he does.
But when the fairy, like when you select him as a player, he gets a sword and a shield with a bunch of upside down triangles.
Of course he does.
And his subsequent move set is different than everybody else's. So he can charge when he uses a special. One of his moves is he spins around with his sword. Yep. The guy I picked becomes a gamer ninja or something. So he gets size, and he almost plays like a Ninja Turtle from the old like Turtles in Time game.
Ooh.
Like all of their characters got inspiration from
Is
different.
there like a Ryu character?
I haven't played a lot like of the other characters yet, so I'm not sure.
And you said it's cheap.
It's like $10.
Oh, okay. That's a quick pickup.
It was a quick pick up and play. And how the levels work is there's 4 levels. The first level you play, you kind of go through 1 level, and you're done. And then you select the next level, and you go through 2 levels. And then you select the third. Like you can pick whichever ones you want. But the farther you go in the game, the longer you have to play in that specific level. So every time you play, if you start from this end and go that way, and then start from this end and go that way, and start from 2, 3, 4, like the levels actually change and evolve. And obviously, there's more boss fights the longer the fights go or the levels go on. So I played through with the Gamer Ninja guy. You gain money every time. Like you have to pick up cash. At the end of a level, you can buy bonuses to help actually like level up your character, essentially. Gain more health, hit harder, change your specials so they do more damage, that kind of stuff. But also, if you die, you have to pay a certain amount of money to revive yourself. So that's how it kind of balances it out. But yeah, it is a multiplayer kind of
Like
brawl game
online
too.
multiplayer?
So.
Or...
Not sure online. Not sure local. I had to check because I just
local. I can't imagine it not having local.
Local, I know it has. I'm not sure about online. I'd have to check, but it's cool enough. And then once you beat the game, you unlock 2 different characters, and they actually have guns.
Oh, good.
So one's got a shotgun and one's got.
Is it like, I get a little Contra vibe from that.
A little bit, like the one guy with the rapid fire gun is very Contra. Like it's little like the balls that shoot out. And
do you have spread fire? Because that's the best one.
Not yet, but that might be a special. But he actually has to reload.
Wait,
So
Contra guys don't reload.
No, so that's where this game changes. I'm like, and all of a sudden I have to reload, and the zombie's like, and I'm like,
What's a reload?
So, but the guy with the size is pretty cool. And when he's done the fight, like he's like, yeah. When he finishes the level, it looks like one of the turtles jumping up and like, yoo-hoo. So they grab
just enough not to get copyright.
Yep. Jim from the Jimquisition, I found out, is in the game. They took a bunch of Binding of Isaac. Isaac is like, or Isaac's mom is a boss.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Like they took inspiration from a bunch of stuff without actually calling it.
This almost sounds like it could have been a Kickstarter game.
Almost, but it was fun, and for $10, it was a good game. So, and if you guys like, we can actually try it another time, sort of shtick. Sure. My wife and I tried the Roseanne show, switching over to TV.
Yes.
Roseanne.
And
it's Roseanne.
It's Roseanne. I never watched any when I was.
See, and I did. I watched it as a kid. So coming back to it, John Goodman makes a crack about why does everybody think I'm dead? Because in the original he got killed off. Because Roseanne was writing a book.
Yeah.
They kind of just nullified that. She was never writing a book. That ending never happened. And welcome to Roseanne.
Yes. The real Roseanne.
The real Roseanne. They are a southern family living in a city where work is hard to find, and they are clearly Republicans. Her sister is not. So that's the thing is, like, one of my coworkers is like, well, she's pro-Bush, like, or not Bush, Trump. Like, I can't watch a show where she's, Trump, and but she explains it first thing in the one episode. She's like, he promised jobs, and what this town needs is jobs. Like,
when you think about it, that's totally
her reasoning behind it and the pieces to it. It's not like they stick to like, let's keep making these jokes.
Yeah.
But she's clearly that. It is essentially. I was watching it and I was thinking, this is shameless light. Like, this is a show that the family can watch. Yeah. But clearly this is a messed up family. Like, the one girl who is the daughter who was Sarah Chalk from Scrubs after so many seasons. Because she was replaced. Like, Sarah Chalk replaced another girl. They got the original girl back to play this daughter, who is now in her 40s, and is going to be a surrogate mother because she can make, $50,000 or whatever it happens to be. And the woman who she's going to have the baby for is Sarah Chalk, and that's how they got her back into the show. They brought most of the cast back, and then the part where like I'm sitting there going, you can tell this show is still Roseanne and progressive and trying to push those boundaries. Is one of the kids comes back, and they have a kid, or they have 2 kids. One of the kids is legit from Shameless.
The boy.
Girl, redhead girl from Becky.
Yeah.
Wavy,
She was in,
wavy black hair.
Big Bang.
I don't know.
Oh, my foot pillow went.
I know. My
It's
foot's
cold.
getting cold. But either way, this like she comes back because she lost her job and she's come back to help her parents a bit and also live at the house.
Mm-hmm.
So her daughter is going to school and her son is going to school, but her son likes to dress in females' clothes.
Mm.
So John Goodman is more just it's not like he doesn't like that the kid wears these clothes. Roseanne even sits down and goes like, you know, well, do you feel like a girl? Like, what's the shtick? And he's like, no, I feel like I can express my creativity by dressing the way I want to dress. Like, they go through this whole rigmarole of all that stuff, and John Goodman's biggest concern is he's living in small town America. This isn't Chicago. This kid is going to get the living, you know, crap beat out of him.
Daylight's beat up, yeah.
So, like, that's the piece is, like, John Goodman's just concerned for this kid's safety, not the fact that he dresses like this. So you're still sitting there going, like, see, it is a wholesome show. They're not, like, full-on, you know, Southern, this is wrong and this is wrong. And, like, they're like, live your own life, do what you want to do. Just, we're concerned to make sure you're still alive, sort of thing.
Right.
So, no, good show. I mean, it's still, it's Roseanne. If you've ever watched Roseanne, it's Roseanne. The house looks the same. John Goodman still goes to the... John Goodman still goes to the garage whenever things get too intense just to drink beer.
Okay.
John Goodman
Darlene.
still does part.
That's what
Oh, yes. Yeah.
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 Good.
And then my wife and I also started watching Ken's Convenience, which is on Netflix.
Yes.
Never heard of
It is a show about a convenience store in Toronto,
I was gonna
Ontario.
say, this is that Canadian one.
Owned by a
I
Korean
a lot
couple.
of CBC's stuff on there.
This one surprised me. So here's the shtick with Kim's Convenience. He is... The jokes are actually really great because the Kim guy, like the guy who plays the main dad, is very, very Asian.
Yes.
So like he's sitting there and this gay couple, or not couple, but these 2 gays come in to put up a poster for Gay Pride Day.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not putting a poster horribly designed. You should go back and get your money back. And they're like, and the one guy's all like, well, you're just, you know, you're homophobic. And he goes, I'm not homophobic. And he starts going, your poster's just ugly. Like, no. He's like, in fact, I give gay discount all week.
That
And
seems weird.
so it was
It's
written
very-
by, it's actually by a guy
Isn't it
who's-
based off a true story?
Yes, it's this guy's family, essentially. So he wrote a fringe play in Toronto, and it got enough press every year that eventually they picked it up. This guy also wrote for Corner Gas. But yes, there are some, like, it would be an offensive joke, but he's legitimately not being offensive in any way, shape, or form. He's either curious and doesn't know how to
It's kind of like
express
that fresh,
himself.
It's like that
It's
ABC.
fresh off the boat.
It's basically fresh
But
off
Canadian.
the boat. Yeah. Because I keep seeing YouTube
Which is also a good show.
It keeps giving me recommendations.
Yeah.
I'm like, these short clips of Fresh Off the Boat is just enough for me. I don't
Yeah.
think I could watch this whole
It's
show.
actually a pretty good show too. But yeah, like that's pretty good. His kids are clearly Canadian-born kids
Yeah.
that have had to live with this insane man as their father. The mom continues to try hooking her daughter up with cool Korean boys from church. It's a very cute little family show, except the best part is it airs clearly late enough on evenings in Canada where they allow swearing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, again, I love the BBC because they don't, you know, care about language.
And I think with the BBC, that language is so much different than us.
No, but they don't care. Like, an F-bomb drops and they're like, whatever. Because it's language.
Right.
You know when you're being offensive, you know when you're not. They actually teach.
They're not swearing just for the fun of it.
Well, or they
there's
are.
Context. There's context to it.
Or it's just, they don't care. Like, here, we hear the F word, we freak out. People are like, you don't say that word!
Yeah.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to be in the right context of when to use it. So this one is legitimately, I think it was the end of the first or second episode, and they hadn't said anything yet. Like, it was like we're watching the show, and all of a sudden, the son's friend is making fun of him, and he's walking past another guy, and he goes, "That effing guy," and he actually says the word, and I'm going,
Which network is CBC?
CBC.
Right?
CBC.
And I'm going,
Wow.
man, CBC's gotten progressive.
Yeah.
And then at one point, because the daughter's in photography school, so the guy's looking at pictures, and it's like bare butts and all of this stuff, and I'm going, am I watching the
I don't know what time
BBC?
it is.
9 o'clock.
CBC, yeah.
9 o'clock on the CBC. So either way, it's going into its third season, but the first season's on our Canadian Netflix, so it's actually fairly. It's a
lot of CBC stuff's coming up on.
I know. Right. But you guys don't care. Like, that's the piece.
care, apparently.
In North America, there's this big
Very
stigma
touchy.
on language and that kind of stuff. And that's like, again, I watch BBC stuff where even the panel shows where they're just like, oh, F that. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, it really takes up to like Netflix for.
Right, for
America.
us, for North America to like swear on TV.
It's Netflix level.
Like, you don't do that on the major networks, which I thought was really cool of CBC to just be like,
So
Maybe they
cash.
beep it out.
maybe they beep it out on the CBC?
I'm,
I don't know, but either way, it made it into the Netflix series. So if you're watching it on Netflix and you have kids...
well, you think about like, even Family Guy, though. They beep it out, but in the Netflix, they don't.
Some of the Netflix, they do. It depends on the season.
No, they it's full on in there.
No, because there was ones where it beeped it, and I was like, why? And apparently it's whatever footage they got from Fox. If they got the original footage back, they didn't beep. See, and again, I do too, to a point, depending on who I'm with and what time of day it is, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here I try not to, because it is a more public forum. But yeah, you definitely, it's a culture thing for Canadians, and that's why it was more of a shock. All of a sudden, I'm like, I'm expecting corner gas, which is essentially what I'm getting, but instead of, country bumpkins running a gas station,
It's in the city.
it's city, Koreans running a convenience store.
Essentially like fresh off the boat.
Yeah.
From ABC. Yeah.
I'm a teen space.
Yes, I was like that too.
Sure, and I get that piece. But that's the thing is, in Canada, like, at school, if you swore and a teacher caught you, you got in actually deep, like, you got in some
Still
trouble.
do.
Yep.
You still do. Whereas, yeah. So that's my thing is, it's more just it should really just be now's not the appropriate time to use that language. Because let's be fair, if I'm out with you guys and we see something and I'm like, that was effing amazing.
Right. And I think with BBC, with the British, like, they've got so many different colorful ways to say different words. Like,
But
sod
no, yeah,
off.
they just-
Like, sod off.
They just, and they don't,
Like,
they just don't care.
Yeah, also.
Because language is language. Like,
If we
to
say
them,
that,
it's-
yeah.
Yeah. So, either way, Kim's Convenience,
Yes.
pretty funny show.
I've seen that advertised a few times.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And yeah, he's pretty funny. And I think the girl's gonna end up dating one of the, like, white guys.
No.
That's wild.
Man, that would be yeah. Do you swear on the first day of school with every teacher? Just
That's
to
why.
see
That's
where
just get the bar
where the
set.
line is.
Just
Yeah,
set the bar.
where the line is. I
That's
think that is all my stuff. Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
Neat.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you.
people
Thank
of
you.
the internet.
And you. And you. And you. And you. And you.
That's what we do.
And thank you, random citizen.
Yeah. So if you want to, the World of Warcraft stuff I've been playing.
Yeah, you guys will probably
Brian,
be at
it's
that.
up on the YouTube.
It's in the rewind.
It's on all of if you look through all of our old stuff.
It's on the VOD. It's what people
It's on the
call-
video on demand.
It's,
Yeah.
it's what they call
Yeah.
it nowadays.
Yeah.
It's on the VOD.
It's on the VOD. You can check that out. But we're running around as High Mountain Dorn. So cool.
I think we should definitely get together for a Fortnite-a-thon.
At some point, yes.
All four of us.
I don't know about tonight.
I also don't know about tonight. I never know.
I-
Otherwise, we would have scheduled actual streaming things other than Saturday. But I never know what my
Yeah.
life is doing. So
Yeah.
Adulting.
adult life.
Speaking of which, we're gonna get back to it.
Yes.
I guess.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I must go adult.
I must go.
Yeah.
My planet needs me.
My adult planet needs me.
Yes.
Can I stay here for a while, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes?
I think.
All right.
And
Cool.
then, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
Same time, same
11,
taste,
same
same
place.
place.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
On that note.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.